Today we're going to be talking about division of polynomials. If we were given x squared plus 6x plus 1, okay, and we want to take that and we want to divide it by x minus 3, okay? I'm going to show you two different methods. The first one is to set it up just like long division that you did previously. So x squared plus 6x plus 1 goes inside. This is doing the dividing, so the x minus 3 goes on the outside. Now, x times what would give you x squared? Okay, well, x times x is x squared. So the x goes there, and now we're going to multiply. So I'm multiplying this x to each piece. So x times x is x squared, and x times the negative 3x is negative 3x, okay? Now, because it is division, we would normally subtract these. I'm going to go through and change the signs. Be careful there so that you don't forget that both of them get subtracted. So x squared minus x squared goes away. 6x plus 3x is 9x, and we bring down the plus 1, okay? Now we're ready for the next part. So I want a 9x. So I'm going to have to take x times what to give me 9x, right? I'm going to have to multiply. I'm going to have a 9. So 9 times x gives me that 9x, which is what I'm looking for. But I also have to remember to do 9 times negative 3, which is a negative 27. Okay. Now again, we're going to subtract these. So I'm going to change this to a minus and this one to a plus. The 9x minus 9x goes away, which it should because that's how we choose our number. And then 1 plus 27 is 28. I don't have any other numbers to go, so this becomes my remainder. So we write our answer as x plus 9 plus our remainder, 28, over our divisor, just like we would do we have done previously. Okay. Now, this is known as long division. It's exactly like what you did in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. I'm going to show you another method. I'm going to do the same problem, but I'm going to do what is called synthetic division. So with synthetic division, we're going to draw this little box, and we're just going to put the coefficients. So the coefficient of an x squared is 1. The coefficient of 6x is 6, and the coefficient of 1 is just plain old 1. Okay, so that's going to go there. Now this is a little tricky. We're going to take our x minus 3, and we're going to set it equal to 0, and I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. That tells me x is a positive 3. Whatever this number is goes here, all right? Now, we have it set up. What we're going to do is you're going to bring the 1 down first, okay? That just leaves a 1. Our next step is we're going to do 3 times whatever's down here. So 3 times 1 is 3. Okay. Now, we're going to add them. They're both positive, so 6 plus 3 is 9. Okay. Now, we're going to take 3 times the 9, which is 27, and put it here. Again, we're going to add 1 plus 27 is 28. Now, this actually says it's going to be, instead of the x squared, which we started with, we're going to go, instead of x squared, we're going to go 1 smaller, so it's going to become 1x. There's a positive. The next number down, the next variable down would be just a 9, and then that would be our remainder. Exactly the same thing. We could just take off that 1 if we wanted. Exactly the same thing. Okay, this is long division. This is synthetic division. The synthetic is doing the same exact steps, okay? There's the 1. There's that 3 that gave you a 9. that gave you the 27 that led to the 28. So it's exactly the same thing, it's just a lot shorter. So if you had a lot of problems to do, it might be an easier way to do it. All right, let's look at another one. And we're just going to keep doing it both ways so that you can find the way that you like, but you do need to know both. All right, so the next one we're going to look at is, let's try this one. So I'm going to take x cubed minus 2x plus 6, okay? And that's going to be divided by x plus 3. Okay, so let's start with long division. My x plus 3 goes on the outside. It's the divisor. The x cubed, but my next term should be an x squared, and I'm missing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in just a placeholder, a 0x squared. Now my next one is an x, and I do have an x term, so I can continue from there. Okay. Now, what I need to think about is x times what would give me x cubed. Right, so I'm going to need an x squared. So now x squared times x is that x cubed. And x squared times 3 is plus 3x squared. Okay. Our next step is subtraction. Okay, we multiplied. Now we're going to subtract. So I'm going to just go through and change the signs. Those go away. 0 minus 3x squared is negative 3x squared. I'm going to bring down, oops, it's a minus 2x, negative 2x. Okay, now I'm going to go through the same steps again. I'm going to look at what x times what is going to give me a negative 3x squared. Well, I'm going to need that negative 3. X times negative 3 is negative 3x, but I'm also going to need one more x. All right, so now negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. And I also have to do it towards the other one. So 3 times the negative 3x is a negative 9x. Okay. Again, we're subtracting, so I'm going to change those signs. Those go away. Negative 2 plus 9 is a 7x. And I'm going to bring down the plus 6. Okay. I'm able to go one more step, okay, because I have one more I'm trying to get. X times what would give me that 7x, right? I would need a 7. So now 7 times x is 7x, and 7 times 3 is 21. Now, again, we're on subtraction, so I'm going to change my signs. They go away, and 6 minus 21 is a negative 15. We're going to write our remainder as a negative 15 divided by the x plus 3. Okay. Now, if we were to do it by synthetic, we're going to set this up with our coefficients. So 1, we do need the 0 because it's still a placeholder, negative 2, and 6. Okay. The x plus 3, I think this is the same one, no, a little different. We're going to subtract the 3, and we get that x equals negative 3. So this time we're going to put the negative 3 on the outside. Okay, so you're going to bring the 1 down. Now you do negative 3 times 1, which gives us a negative 3. Now, we're going to add those numbers, so 0 plus negative 3 is negative 3. But again, we're going to multiply, so negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9, so we're going to put that there. All right. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7. Again, we're going to multiply, so negative 3 times 7 is a negative 21. And you can see those numbers are right there, right? Which we know gives us an answer of negative 15. We originally started with a cubed So this one is going to be x squared minus 3x plus 7, and then plus that negative 15 over our divisor, the x plus 3. Exactly the same answer. Okay. Alrighty, and let's look at one more. Actually, that one didn't work out. Yeah, we'll just do one more. We're going to look at, let's try this one. So you're going to take x squared plus 25, all right? And we've got this times the quantity x minus 5 to the negative 1. All right, first of all, negative exponent, what does that do? Yes, it flips it down. So now we have x squared plus 25 over x minus 5, which really is saying we're dividing, right? Okay. Remember, the negative exponent goes to just what it's touching, and it's touching this whole thing, so that's why it went underneath. So this tells me I'm going to take x minus 5, it's the divisor, and I'm going to divide x squared, but I should have an x term next, and I don't, so we're going to fill in that placeholder, plus the 25.
Mrs. Mitchell and Mrs. Campbell, please report to the conference room. Mrs. Mitchell and Mrs. Campbell, please report to the conference room.
Alrighty, so now x times what gives you x squared, right? We just need one more, so x times x is x squared. X times negative 5 is a negative 5x. Change your signs. They go away, leaving me with a 5x. And I'm going to bring the 25 down now. X times what would give me 5x? Yes, that is a 5. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 5 is a negative 25. Okay, now be careful. Change your signs. It actually leaves you with a 50 here. So we're going to have a remainder of 50 over x minus 5. Okay. You can also do our synthetic. So we have a 1, a 0, and a 25. Okay. We have x minus 5 equals 0. We're going to solve this. And I get that x equals 5. So that is going to be my divisor. We always bring the 1 down first. Now I'm going to multiply. So 5 times 1 is 5. 0 plus 5 is 5. And I'm going to multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. We're going to add, and we get a 50. This needs to go down 1 degree. So this was squared, degree of 2. So now we're at x plus 5 plus 50 over our divisor, which was x minus 5. Okay, exactly the same thing. Either way you do it. Synthetic does go a lot quicker and can be very useful.